Figure out my camera. I don't have a microphone on yet. Hey, welcome to Truth Between Lines. I'm still trying to get the majority of all of this working and setting this up, but we are glad you're with us. It is Sunday night. It is March 15th, and what a week it has been. I haven't been on this channel on a Sunday for actually a couple weeks now because of a cruise that I took, and then also the other thing was basically because I got stuck at the airport, which we'll talk about that as well. Let me get this clued in real quick here. I think that still need to figure. There we go. That's a little better. That's a little better overall. All right, good deal. We'll frame it just perfectly the way it is. Make sure we still got the time. All right, and we'll get going here real fast here. All right. So wait a little bit. Let a couple people come in here real quick. Got a little bit of a different background. It is not green screen. Is my new flag that I just got. So I'm excited about that. But we have actually a lot to talk about because, again, I was on that cruise. And for that week, we went down to Mexico. We were down in Honduras, Costa Maya, and then Cozumel. A little bit worried about what was happening maybe with the cartels, what was going to be transpired. Just kind of all around, like just looking out at everything. And of course, nothing happened at all. Nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, really, we wouldn't even known we were anywhere other than some beachfront property that was having a great time with it. So I didn't mind it at all. And it was a big relief when we got back. Let's just say that. But again, if you watch some of the other videos, some of the other shorts that were on there, I'm sorry, I just realized the chat's already going. Hey guys, good to see you north side. It's been a long time. We're just talking about that. Lunatic Libertarians here. Hello, my friend. Yes, very cool. It's good to see you guys on here. So I was just talking about the 3 hours and 40 minutes I had to wait in the TSA airport line, which was absolutely ridiculous. So that was Sunday the 8th. I mean, it got worse after that. I got a few people, and I want to talk to you guys here in a second. I had a few people that are reporting, they're waiting after 3 hours as well. Maybe it's gotten better to not 3 hours and 40 minutes like I had to go through. But at the same time, when does this end? When does the whole thing end? And I don't know. How do you continuously have a government shutdown? How do you not fund the Coast Guard, the TSA, DHS when we are attacking another country? And our people are being attacked too. Unfortunately, we're losing military lives. Other countries are getting bombed as well. How do you at that point justify saying, yeah, we don't want to fund these people? But then look at who's doing it in the past. It's all the people that were doing it for, they wanted, anti-ICE everything that, if it has anything to do with law enforcement, with immigration, can't have it at all. Defund the police was a huge giant thing where you're saying just literally we don't want police officers. Mamdani takes mayorship of New York City, and of course all of those officers either leave, quit, retire, don't show up, all of the above. And we're at that moment where do they have enough officers to really protect an actual city the size of New York? And we haven't heard a whole lot about the numbers wise for police, but we've obviously seen a lot of incidences where they were needed. Thankfully, those two guys didn't hurt anybody. The two 18 and 19-year-old that were throwing the bombs over the protests of the anti-ICE people that were protesting with a bullhorn, talking about how great immigration is, and here comes that thing. So let's see. Did I hear about the you know what? Sorry, I'm going to put this up there. Did you hear about how the New York mayor sided with the Muslim kids who try to blow up and protest New York with a few nail bombs? Yeah, I did. Hey, Daily, right? Hey, so yeah, that's exactly what I was just talking about, the 18 and 19-year-olds that were doing that. Hey, Mohammed, good to see you. So it's one of those things where, yes, I didn't really watch Mamdani. I'm having a problem watching him just because I get so sick and tired of listening to him. Honestly, it's it's like when all these other influencers, they post people of liberals or whatever else spouting off at the mouth and talking about stuff, and they're like, oh, and then of course there's always the the after thing. And I'm like, I just can't listen to these people because they're just idiots. So yes, I need to research more and actually carve out my eyes listening to Mondani so I can't see it and just try and play happy songs in my head when I'm listening to them. But yeah, that was a crazy situation. And then of course we had a couple other incidents where Islamic aggressive radicals are out there doing crazy things. Yeah, and that's kind of where we're at. Is that the world we're at right now? And so we'll kind of play it by ear. And help me out since I got you guys on here, the guys that are here every week and everything else. Yeah, exactly. Northside, exactly. And actually, Northside, you're from New York too. So I'm curious to see what you are hearing, seeing, doing. Maybe you're doing something differently. Maybe you're going a different way. What is happening with that? Let me know. Let him know in the comments too on that one. And then Daily Ride says, Donnie is establishment too, even though he tried to look like an outsider. But yeah, I can't watch that guy either. Yeah. Exactly. He's very much an established guy. I mean, if you don't, the whole tie to Jeffrey Epstein and Mamdani's mom, I mean, that's some kind of stuff right there. That's, and you can't become the New York City mayor without some kind of connection. Same as Gavin Newsom in California. I mean, unless your name is Schwarzenegger or some kind of thing, you have to have some kind of connections to get to a higher office on that one. But, all right, so GSB Summit, Jesus loves you. Congratulations. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And so going forward, here's my question, because this was posed. I have a friend on Facebook. I'm still on Facebook. So if you're following that one. I had a friend that was stuck at an airport. I won't say where, it doesn't matter, but he was stuck at the airport. Same reason. TSA line was 2.5 hours long. He goes on there and says, yeah, the Democrats caused this. What are we going to do about this? And then another co-friend comes on there and said, I should read the actual thing to you. But he says on there, that's not the Democrats' fault. It is the Republicans that is holding up the government right now. It is the Republicans who are causing all of the issues with what's going on around the country. And the Republicans are ones not funding DHS. What are your thoughts? I'll share with you what I said. I'm curious what your thoughts are about how do you respond to someone saying that this is absolutely a Republican problem? And here it is right here. Actually, wait for it. See if he erased it. No. Okay, so this was a direct quote. Okay, this is a direct quote from what it was. I expected delays because of the partial shutdown, but nothing like we experienced here at the airport. It was Charlotte. Let's just put it that way. Charlotte, North Carolina. There were 3 long lines: airline to check in and check back luggage, customs, TSA security. Thankfully, we had 4 hours before our flight. Anything less than that, we would have been in real trouble. Damn Democrats. So that's the exact word for word quote on here of what my friend put on there. Now, this came from the other person. I'm quoting exact words. I think you are pointing the finger at the wrong party. The GOP has consistently refused to accept a bill that would fund everything else but the 2 aspects of the bill where the Democrats want restrictions. We don't have to be in the mess you endured, but the speaker wants it that way to exert leverage to get his way. So now, having said that, what do you guys think? What is the response that you would put on there if someone says the GOP has consistently refused? Now, obviously, we have people from all over the place here. Maybe not GOP, maybe not Republicans. We obviously have a lunatic here, a libertarian. What are your thoughts on that, though, as far as how are they trying to blame this on Republicans and not the Democrats? So I'll wait a couple minutes on there. Let me know. Welcome 6-7. Good to see you. Okay, cool. Yep. The funny thing is we do come on Sundays between 6 and 7 o'clock. Whatever time I finish dinner with my family, I come on this thing. So back to what Northside said, though. Yes, I am. I'm ashamed of New York, and being a New Yorker, my state needs to go get it together and go red. Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, Northside, isn't state of New York mostly red? It's really just New York City. I don't know about Albany, but maybe I'm completely off base. But I mean, same thing with like California. California, literally, if you took out Los Angeles and San Francisco, it would at least be maybe 50-50, if not leaning red. Because San Diego, with all the military down there, most of them lean red. So it's a weird thing. But of course, LA has so many people in it, it trumps everything else. So it's always the Republicans' fault. It's switched. Yeah. It's always the Republicans' fault. Never want to take responsibility when things go terribly wrong, so they blame it on the big, bad Republican Party. Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Ban that guy. You think I should? The 6'7" guy? Kingdom of Packin. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yep. Let's do that. No problem. Lock user on YouTube. Put user in timeout. Cool. There we go. All right. Very cool. Jocelyn. Hey, Jocelyn. Good to see you. Yes, there's most of New York is red, but it's the 5 boroughs is blue. Yeah, exactly. That's what I kind of thought. On here, though, this one, let's see, it's Bali Striker, Bandito, but Mamdani is sickening, New York City, sickening Newsom. Okay, good. Yeah, I think we're okay with this one. So I'll put that up there. I just want to make sure. Some of you guys I know, but some of you guys I don't. But hey, yeah, sickening Democrats and Newsom. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're in the right place. So welcome. Please like and subscribe. That would be great. Actually, we are over 10 minutes already. That went quick, but please like and subscribe if you guys don't mind. That would be fantastic. And I really appreciate the support on there. One other thing I wanted to do before I get started. There we go. Yeah. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe on there. All right. There we go. Got it going forward. Jocelyn's here. Girl's still sick. Can't believe that. Yeah, that guy is trolling you. Yeah, I got rid of him. Yeah. Okay. So, hey, lunatic, people are dumb thinking they need to be a blood or Crip politically. Yeah. And that goes back in. And actually, I know, remember Daily Riot used the word tribal on this thing. It's the tribe. It's the one tribe or the second tribe. I mean, which side are you on? That's where you're at. There's no middle anymore. It just seems like that's the whole thing. Lunatic also says Larry Sharpe for New York governor. He is trying to primary Blakeman. Yeah. If you guys don't know who Larry Sharpe is, look into it. He not only is it like his personal channel, but he has the Sharp Way or Sharp the right Sharp something Sharp right. I wasn't thinking about talking about that tonight, but I've been watching his stuff. Thanks to Lunatic Libertarian, the guy is on it, man. I'm telling you, the guy is on it. If we could get a guy like him to take over for Hochul, for anybody else for that matter, that would be an absolute gem. And I mean, I don't know if he'll change it just because of the size of New York City and the amount of people, but people are going to be waking up. So look up Larry Sharpe on that one for sure. If you're Lunatic, if you can seriously get me an interview with him, that'd be fantastic. So I would be more than happy to talk to him. All right. So let's see. Mohammed switching back to the U.S. The U.S. sent 2,500 Marines to the Middle East as the Iran conflict escalates. Here it comes. The new patch of veterans with PTSD. Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, I'm not sure if I want to talk about too much about Iran tonight because again, it's just good, crazy. But hey, let's go to Daily Riot. Both sides have their reasons for keeping illegals here. Only the public gets hurt. Yep, that's exactly right. That, and that is it. Actually, I Riot. What are the reasons for Republicans wanting illegals here? I mean, I don't know. I'm actually curious about that one because I would like to see everything kind of gone. And then Lunatic, yeah, good, very good. Oh, it's interesting. Yes. I will call them right now. It's funny. Okay, cool. That would be cool. I mean, that would be great. Again, I'm listening to Larry. I'm actually learning from Larry Sharpe. Great, fantastic guy. And I really hope he does far. And Lunatic, is he a state guy? I mean, he's in office now. He has an elected office now. I want to say he runs the state government, but check me on that one. All right. So Northside says, well, I do my research and the history of the political parties, and the Democrat Party isn't a good side to be on since the American Civil War. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that people forget. They want to say that like they're the blue collar people and everything else, but I think it's been shifting there in the last couple of years since, the Clintons. I mean, Hillary doing all the things that Hillary was doing, calling people deplorable, calling people terrible names. And it was just like, here comes, here we're just the Republicans became the workers. And I'm just curious how the unions are following on that one. I have no knowledge at all about how the unions are feeling, but they've always typically gone for the Democrats. And where are they at now in this world right now? So, Bali Strike, if we would all go independent, that would make all the politicians actually run on their own positions. Yeah, that would, that would be something on that one. Jocelyn, yes, good. You know what? Hit the wrong one. I wanted to show up at Lunatic. Okay, so he's not elected currently. Okay, I don't know why I thought he was. Okay, all right. Thanks for clearing that up. Yeah, the businesses aren't willing to pay working wages. They actually lobby to keep cheap labor. Oh, Trump already said he wouldn't go after employees early on, even if they are illegal. Yeah, I know. I remember him saying that. Of course, everybody wants cheap labor. That's everybody. I don't think that matters between Republican or Democrat. I mean, let's just say that. But The problem with like going after everybody all at once is literally that would throw everything in turmoil because companies would shut down. We saw a lot of that. Remember when all the construction companies, they had like, whatever homes, put it out there, the ones that large, the ones that make 100 to 150 homes at a time, they literally showed up to work on Monday and no worker was there at all. I mean, that's just bad planning overall. But at the same time, you lose that many employees that quickly and they're all afraid to go to work for whatever reason, whether they just because of the color of their skin or just because they're actually illegal. The ways that kind of plays out, that would be the issue that I'd run into, that our whole government, our whole economy, our whole world, our whole United States would absolutely shut down if everybody just got deported all at once. And of course, depending where you live too, depending where you live, but okay, so Lunatics is Larry Sharp has been on Glenn Beck. I didn't know that. Okay, I gotta look that up. Sharp. So Glenn Beck. Wow. Then I'm looking at it like, really? Does he really want to be on on my little Truth Between Lines cast? That'd be interesting on that one. So that would be fun right there. Democrats want votes. Yeah, that one I knew. Right? No problem there. Put on the full armor of God. Okay, so both sides have their reasons for keeping illegals here. Yeah. Northside Union is split right now. It's basically where you live in New York, since they are get indoctrinated. Yeah. Okay, you're talking about the union. Union is split right now, basically where you live in New York. Where's that tipping point too? Because again, I always thought, again, I have no relation to it, but I always thought it was all Democrats. And then if you're saying if it's split right now, 50-50 or even 40-60, when does it start to shift all the way to the right, my right? So Larry, former Marine, keto dieter, says yes. Yeah, that is very cool. Let me just text real quick. Stream with truth. So there's one other thing I was supposed to do tonight that I'm going to not be able to do it. That's the only problem is that, Larry is from the same district as AOC. That is interesting too. I wish he would actually someone to run up against her. Although I don't know, she has her followers. Let's put it that way. Right or wrong, she has her followers. That's kind of the whole thing on that one. The tipping point is boiling. Yeah, I agree on that one. I mean, what we're seeing right now with people being shut down and all kinds of other problems, that is going to be the issue. You want to do that. Muhammad says neither side wants to pay the political cost of a real fix, which would require a compromise that angers the bases. Yeah. Muhammad, man, I tell you, where are you at right now, Muhammad? Where are you at in the world? But yeah, you always nail it. Did you watch? Hopefully you guys had a chance to watch the short that I did. I did a portion of it from the live stream, whenever I did it last, Tuesday or whatever it was. And I used Muhammad's thing on that one. For some reason, it didn't do very well. I don't know why, but it didn't do anything at all. But I hope it was. Hopefully you guys like and subscribe on that one. Daily Riot says AOC gets APAC funding. Yeah, and that's going to be the issue that you're running into. It's a money thing too. Larry trying to run as a libertarian, going to go up to the machine of Republicans and Democrats. Right or wrong, he's going to hit the machine. And that's going to be the kind of the hard thing. And we all know, no matter how much we hate it, that dollars translate to politics. And sometimes whoever has the most money typically wins, but of course that has been changing a lot with social media too. I mean, back in the day before we had social media and all the platforms we have now, you didn't hear about a lot of people unless they had money. So thankfully, maybe that is changing. And of course, Donald Trump spent a lot less money than Hillary Clinton did in 2016. I'm actually reading the book right now. The one, it's called Game of Thorns. I'll have a review for it later on. I'm about halfway, 3/4 through it right now. And that one was a good book, but I'll tell you more. It's all about the election of 2016. It's all about how Hillary lost. It's based on the right side of what Trump went through as well. So it's a good overall reading on that one. But one other book I just finished too, I want to throw this out there. This is Bill O'Reilly's book. If you haven't seen the Killing the series, so this is Killing the Mob. If you have not seen this one, I mean, they're really good reads. Take a look. Go watch those. I'm going to write this down because I'm going to try and tag him and so he sees this. But overall, very, very good books. I've read this one. I got Killing the Sun, Confronting the Presidents by Bill O'Reilly, his original No Spin, Killing Crazy Horse, That was a pretty good one too. And then Killing the Legends as well. So if you guys want like books that are very summarized very well, where they introduce topics, they go through a lot of the things of it, and then they bounce off to something else, really keeps you interesting. Check out Bill O'Reilly's books. Really easy to read too. For me, it's a lot of small language, but Killing the Mob was a good one. So it's all a lot of this at the end. Goes from Bonnie and Clyde all the way up to, of course, JFK and Robert Kennedy, and the way that they were involved, and Joe Kennedy, the dad, was involved with the mob, and kind of goes through the whole thing. So it's pretty eye opening. I didn't realize a lot of that because it happened 40 something years ago, and but it's very interesting. It's very interesting to look at that one. So, all right, back to the chat here. Let's see. Northside, I want the old tariff economy back. The tax economy was supposed to be temporary due to World War I and World War II. Yeah. That is something on there. I want the old tariff economy back. I mean, kind of like a rubber band. I mean, can we snap it back, or is it completely worn out at that point? But I don't know. Hey, the Fat Muppet, welcome back. You've been here before. It's good to see your name again. Is it possible for Trump to be president for another 4 years? I would say no. And here's the weird thing about it. I mean, if this is a legitimate question, of course, but again, you've been here before, so I appreciate you coming back. Thank you, Fat Muppet. Overall, you got to remember he's in his 80s now too. I mean, I'm just saying the whole thing. He is obviously in great health. Everything's perfect, but he's in his 80s. So I'm that. As much as I love the guy, if you haven't seen my wall, which is right here to my right, I got stuff all about him. Another 4 years after the next 3 years that he's in office might be a little gamble. And I don't want to see it where if something were to happen to him as a stroke, heart attack, he loses his eyesight, whatever. I would hate to have that happen. Kind of like when FDR went in a wheelchair with polio, of course, back then you didn't know because they didn't show it. They showed him just sitting down at the desk. No one knew that he couldn't use his legs unless they saw him in person. So even those people didn't know it either because they hid it so well. But I don't know. So can he run? Probably not. Should he run? I would, in my opinion, probably not. If he was in his 50s or 60s, oh, heck yeah, game on. But no. All right, checking back with Mohammed, though. I'm in Yemen. Already told you my wedding is mid-April, so I'm staying there. And yeah, okay. Oh, I didn't know you're staying there. Well, of course, it will do good because I'm included in it. Exactly. I didn't realize you were staying, though. I mean, I knew you said your wedding was in April, but I mean, it's mid-March, so I didn't know you were going to stay. So, all right, very cool. Again, congratulations, Mohammed, on getting married. Very good. I was a campaign coordinator for Art Goldberg in Hollywood. He ran against Eric Garcetti. Oh, I remember that. Eric Garcetti for city council. Eric's daddy owned a bank. He had around 500,000. We lost. He went to be mayor of LA. I thought he was a mayor. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's actually really cool to be part of a campaign coordinator. Nice. There we go. All right. So Northside said we can go back. We just have to force NATO to do the same. They need the USA. Yes, they do. Yeah. Any interest talking about that too, everybody, as far as does NATO need the United States? My opinion, of course, yes. But what do you think? And actually, you never answered my question. Not that I remember. My question about the Democrats. How do I respond to this guy of a friend on Facebook on that one? So he hasn't responded. That was 2 hours ago. The person that wrote the original one complaining about it, he actually responded though, and he liked my comment. So that was cool on that one. But anyway, fun stuff. So remember, don't forget about that question because I do. But does NATO need the United States? I mean, I think it's a basic question. And how does the new, what are we calling it? The new one, Trump, the peace board or whatever it is. I forget the peace board. Yeah. You want a super, see, lunatic, I don't even know what the super chat is. If you want to come on, let me know. So is it possible? So it is possible for someone to be president for more. No, it's not. No, it's not possible. No, I mean, Fat Muppet. No, it's not possible. At this point, you can't do it. FDR did it, but of course he died in office. But after he died, or after whatever, some time went by, they decided that they would go back to the original 2 4-year terms, and that was it. And they put that in the law. So unless the law changes, that's it. That's the other one. So, what was the question? I didn't pay attention. Sorry. Don't worry about it, Muhammad. I mean, I don't know. You know pretty good worldly stuff, but the idea was talking about why the Democrats, or actually, I take that back. Sorry. Why are the Democrats not the problem funding the government right now? Why do we have a government shutdown caused by Republicans? That's the overall question. That's the funny one on that one. But yeah, that's kind of the thing on that one. Let me reach out to Lunatic here. I don't know. Lunatic. All right. So that was the overall question, though. I wanted to find that out on that one. Other than that, let's take a look at this week, though. So a few things I put up there, a couple of videos. Number one, I was at the St. Patrick's Day parade. If you guys had a chance to watch that, it's in the lives. I actually live stream it. I was out there and I was actually holding on to the banner for the Republican Club and went on there and I just videotaped the whole thing. So I got my fancy dancy little holder for the gyroscope for my phone, and that was a lot of fun. So that was a lot of fun. So able to watch that in live, and it's cool. You want to see downtown Knoxville? That's what that was. I did do one with Do Illegals Have Rights? It was a follow-up to that huge one that I did not too long ago. And where I got like 3,300 hits, which again, for me was huge. So that was cool. And then, so I did a follow-up on that one. It's doing nothing, which is, it's like thunder in a bottle, or it's lightning in a bottle. You try and do it once, you try and recreate exactly that, and it doesn't work. But I don't know. It is what it is. Go take a look at that. But it's called Do Illegals Have Rights? And it's a 14-minute video as opposed to the 6-minute video I did 3 weeks ago. I also did one called Hurt My Feelings. Let's talk about a lot of the comments that were going on. A lot of the things from TikTok that was hitting me up about some subjects I had done, again, about the airport situation and all that too. And it was one of those things where I'm like, yeah, man, I just went off. I had a time. So it's an 11-minute video. It literally did it first take, just went through it. And so it kind of came out pretty good, I thought. And then when my cruise, I did a 9-minute video about cartels and cruising. Take a look too on videos. My buddy Aaron that I went cruising with down to Gulf of America. I tried not to make it a commercial for Royal Caribbean, but I think I did okay with that, with not making it a commercial, but it was interesting. It was fun to have him go over the details and kind of talk, and we were able to walk the ship and have some fun with that one. But so take a look at those. I'd appreciate it on that one. We'll go back to Northside's comment here. We have the government shutdowns because the Democrat Party never wants to meet the Republican in the middle and find common ground, even if it helps the people. Yeah, exactly. But that's not the question. I mean, thanks, Northside. But yeah, the question is, flip those names, because that's what the guy on Facebook is contesting right now. They're saying that it's a Republican fault. It's the Republicans' problem, and that's why. So I'm just curious about a better response than I had. And actually, I'll tell you what I said. Did I? I turned it off. Sorry. Anyway, I'll do that one. Who would I like the next president to be? Yeah, it's a good question. Fat Muppet. Okay, cool. Who would I like to be the next president to be? I look at this from what I'm seeing. I think JD Vance, obviously being vice president, doing a fantastic. Okay, I just read the next comment. He wants Alex Jones for president. That would be fun. That would be freaking hilarious. That would be must-see TV at that point. All right, no, but I look at JD Vance. I think he's perfect. I think things are fantastic. I think things are awesome for him. My problem with JD Vance is, well, it's two things now. Number one, he's too young. Okay. I'm 48. I think he's 43, 42 or 43. He'll obviously be, assuming Trump goes the entire time, he will be, whatever, 45, 46, 47, whatever it is. And I just think overall, he's too young to do it. He has plenty of time. Get in there, do a great job. The other issue is Usha's pregnant. His wife's pregnant. And, all of the distractions aside, he still has young kids at home. As a father, I still want him to be. Now, has it happened before in the past where a president had kids in the White House? Sure, of course. We saw that multiple times with Clinton or Bill, and a few other running through. We saw it with Obama's too as well, and it just came into the whole thing where it's like, all right, that's my two issues with him. Now, Rubio, I think Marco Rubio is doing a fantastic job. I think if Marco Rubio runs, I don't know how they can say anything about him. The guy's a citizen born of immigrants. He speaks fluent Spanish. We know that. We saw him translate the other day, which was hilarious. He's doing a freaking bang up job, if not the best job in the history of Secretary of State. So with all of the qualifications, and then you give him 3 more years too, to basically get his craft going and get all this stuff going. I don't know how Rubio can be beat. And I don't see if it's Gavin Newsom on the other side. I mean, AOC, it's got to be a new person from the Democrats. They can't run Pritzker. They can't run all the things too. They just can't. Those guys don't stack up to Rubio at all, either on paper or not on paper. And I think if he's able to do that, we're going to keep the good times rolling. And that's it. So those are my top 2. Do I think there's a long shot of somebody else coming in? I don't think there is. I really don't. I don't see anybody else randomly, specifically not a new business owner or some other random person like Trump kind of was back in 16, that just decides, hey, I want to run for president. I don't see that happening. I don't see it happening. But all right. So hey, Philip, good to see you. Welcome to the channel. Glad you're here. Northside wants Vance. Wouldn't it be nice? Okay, Fat Muppet, wouldn't it be nice with a young president? Yeah, well, again, for all the reason I just said. I mean, okay, real quick though, Fat Muppet, what is young? What is young? Because you got to be 35, right? So what is young? I mean, it's again, remember I'm 48, so, and I still feel, well, shit, I feel old, but anyway, so what's young? But it is nice. It is cool. You know, that was a big thing about Bill Clinton. I remember when I was in college and Bill Clinton was president or running for president, you know, he was the saxophone guy. He was out there jogging all the time. He was doing all the stuff. Obama comes in, Obama's playing basketball with people and doing all the things, doing that. I mean, I get it. And those are just the 2 I can remember that I actually, you know, obviously saw with my own 2 eyes doing that. You know, but at the same time, hey, listen, do you want to like the guy who's young or all that? Or do you want the guy that you don't like that's doing a fantastic bang up job being president? So great question on that one though. Daily Rice is not a fan of Rubio. I would like to hear more about that one. Do you think Trump should legalize marijuana? Okay. You got a few other ones here. Marijuana is very American if you think about it. And then Fat Muppet is under 50. Okay, good. I'm glad you think young is under 50. Thank you for that. All right. Do I think he should legalize marijuana? No, not on a federal level. I think overall the state should decide what they want to do. I was there in California, Southern California, from basically 1996 up until 2020 when COVID hit. They legalized marijuana in there when I was there. And I was part of it, seeing it, doing it, involved with it because I was kind of one of the things where I was doing a lot with the Chamber of Commerce. And the problem with a lot of it came down to the taxes and fees because it became a cash cow for the government. All they had to do was go in there and tax it. They put fees. They said, oh, don't worry, we'll legalize it. All the money will go to the schools and it'll go to roads and everybody's going to benefit. Everything's going to be perfect because of the green tax, right? But of course, what happened at the same time was all of a sudden the drugs, the marijuana that was in the black market, that people were doing it became cheaper to buy it from your local dealer than it was to buy it legally through the store. So now you had a whole bunch of weed coming through, and now the police officers couldn't say it's illegal. Like, where'd you get that? Where's your receipt? And they're like, well, here's my receipt from 2 weeks ago. I just decided today to do it. And it became a big issue. So it really comes down to municipalities, to states, to areas, whether it should be legalized. So do I think he should overall legalize it across the country? No, I absolutely do not. All right. So Mohammed, why dispute presidential terms or candidates for next term when the real ruler of the country is Daily Riot's favorite? Good. All right. Gotta get Riot on you. Yeah, go check out Daily Riot though after we're done with this. If you haven't done that already, if you don't know who that is. By the way, we're hitting 35 minutes. I mean, we're blowing through this hour real quick here. So if you're just here for the first time, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Love to get the numbers up and get going. So please do that. And then watch some of the other videos on that one. But argument, who cares if you hate him, if he's doing right by America? I'm American. If I felt he was doing right by America, I would love him. What? Is that what I said? Are you quoting what I said? Who cares if you hate him, if he's doing right by America? Yeah. American. If I felt he was doing right by America, I would love him. Is that what I just said? Again, a lot of the stuff I go quickly. So who knows? But yeah, I'll stand by that too. I don't care. I mean, I would not, like sitting down with President Donald Trump on a, going to a game or some crazy. If he was just a random guy and a friend of mine, I wouldn't want to hang out with him, but he's doing a fantastic job as president. So forget all the women, forget all the stuff that he's done in his life. I mean, the 34 felonies. I mean, come on, go with that one. All right. North says weed should be legal, but can't be used public and not during working or driving or operating machine. Yeah. Well, of course not. I mean, that's the idea. You can't do all that, of course. Yep. That's good. Riot says he hates APAC. Oh, hey, Howard Clegg's here. Ah, very cool, Howard. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back, I should say. Yeah. Hey, better late than never, buddy. Good to see you. So yeah, we're 35 minutes in, so great. But yes, going back to North Side, weed should be legal, but can't be. Yeah. Well, you're still, I mean, under the influence, driving under intoxication or whatever else still can be anything at all. We had an issue too. There was a couple of guys in college that are doing a lot of dip, and some of the real strong dip, if you do it right and do it too much, you basically get a high real quick. I was gonna say a contact high, but obviously it's contacted. And 10, 15 minutes would be great. So you really just couldn't drive for those 10, 15 minutes. But after that, that was the whole thing. Fabo, what has he done wrong? Oh, are we talking about Trump? Fat Muppet? Are we talking about Trump? I mean, let's just say, if you want to say it, he's been married 3 times. He's got all the kids. I mean, again, it's a moral issue. It's a moral issue, but for a lot of people, that's a problem. That in that, I mean, thankfully, I've been married for 23 years, something like that. One wife, but anyway, that kind of thing. You could talk about the 34 felonies, which are absolutely crap, but it's just a lot of stuff. He's brash. He calls people names, calls people out. Some people obviously don't like that. I kind of don't like it overall, but at the same time, like, I understand why he does it. So those are the kind of things, like what he's done, quote unquote, wrong on there. I know you, brother, ever heard of a joke? Oh, okay. Well, all right. Anyway, I think Ryan's get better than that. Okay. I thought you were being serious. Yeah, no. I didn't think he was being serious. All right. So yeah, I'm up. Yeah. Hopefully that makes sense. I know there's a delay as far as how I'm talking versus when you guys get it, and versus obviously it takes you 5 minutes to type. So yeah. He lied about almost every promise he made. See, Fat Muppet, there you go. You open the can there. So Ryan's not a big fan of Trump overall, and for a lot of just different reasons. Let's put it that way. But that is kind of the thing that we're looking at, that one. Now I'm going to take a minute here, and I'm going to try and figure out. We'll do this, and we're gonna do something here real quick. I'm going to try to bring in Lunatic Libertarian. Hopefully he's still there. And because he said he wanted to, well, he said 10 minutes. So if you guys are all right, we will bring him in. Oh, but of course I can't figure out how to do that. So bear with me here. There we go. Paste. Okay. All right. My apologies for the delay, but maybe we'll see what's happening on that one. But all right. And then there is the reason why this entire base got split. Okay. All right, Lunatic, no problem. Just I sent you the link, so there you go. So just when you're ready, jump on there. All right. So my thinking, okay, here's where Ryan and I need to do another video. If you haven't seen it already, Ryan and I's done like I think three total videos total on the thing. But one thing we were talking about, was I still want to give him the credit. I still want to give Trump. He's been in office for what, a year and 2 months. I mean, a year and almost, not even a year and 2 months. And he still has 3 more years to go. So I am hoping that a lot of the stuff that he promised and a lot of the things he did, but that's me. I'm an optimist. That's what I do. I always look the best side of the whole thing. I don't want to look at the bad stuff at it overall. Do I want to sugarcoat stuff? No, I don't want to sugarcoat it. But at the same time, if it were 2028 and it was January 18th or 19th, the day before he's about to get out, and he had not done a lot of the things that he said he was going to do, then I'd have a problem. Then the legacy would be tainted. But at that point, until all of that happens, I'm still with it. So I could say obviously some people are disheartened about what he's going on, his no wars thing and all that kind of thing. But at the same time, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now. So why just writing this stuff down so I can look at it later on too and put that up there. But so am I wrong? Put it in there. Let me know what you guys think about that. Obviously, this is a continuous conversation on that one. Yeah, but he's not showing any signs of doing any of it. He's pushing in the opposite direction. Art of the deal, man. It's art of the deal. I mean, he's not. You did the video the other day, maybe a week ago now, but it was just like Trump talking about how many missiles and weapons that we've used and we're almost out and all that stuff. I didn't believe him. Trump. I didn't believe Trump. You know, I knew he said it. I knew he did all that stuff, but he's too smart. And I think the art of the deal is say, oh yeah, you know, we're out of money and this is bad. And we you know, people are in revolt and we're out of missiles and we can't shoot down any more stuff. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do, but it's all BS. It's all BS. That's the whole thing. It's not. And I think that he's lulling them to wait to bring in it. All right, let's bring in Not a Bot. Welcome. Good to see you back, buddy. Thanks for coming back in here. It's not a war. It's an operation. See, again. Obviously, people have been on here for a while. They know the cheat codes on there. Riot's been talking about that a lot too, as far as what actually is this. I still don't say it. Right. I should play that video you sent me, the one that had the thing, because it was like, what's Vietnam? What's this? You know, what's Korean War? No, they're not wars. It was actually kind of funny. I actually enjoyed watching that one. But all right, so Muhammad says exactly as Riot said, not any signs and not even remaining static until the right moment comes. He's switching gears completely to the opposite direction. Again, I'm just thinking in my head, I'm like, no, it's going to come back around. It's going to come back around. And I could eat crow at the end of it. I could be completely wrong. Trump could be completely wrong. I just don't see it. I don't see it yet. And I don't know if Pam Bondi is the correct person to be in office as far as Attorney General goes, but I hope she is. I hope she's working on it. You know, it was sad to see Dan Bongino leave the FBI, but I get it. He put in for a year. He did a year. I think Kash Patel is doing a really good, decent job of it. But again, it's still early. So then Ryan said, it's a war. They stopped pretending. They all call it a war now. Well, yeah, but they called the Vietnam War and the Korean War. We still call that now. So it's an operation, obviously. Yeah, no, what do we call it the other day? It was asymmetric or something like that. Something, I don't know. But yeah, it was one of those things where I get it. Although I mean, what? It was supposed to be over soon. Today's Sunday. So I would imagine going into next week is the actual war operation right now in Iran going to end soon. And what happens at that point too? I mean, we've already leveled pretty much all the stuff they had. That was the thing. Oh my God. Right. The guy hiding the Epstein files is doing a great job. No, I think Biden did a terrible job. I think during the 4 years of Biden was president, I think he should have released him. He didn't do a darn thing. So the idea is, again, I don't know why he's hiding it. I do wish that they released everything. I do wish we would find out. I wish that the stupid congressional thing where they had to putting money away and money aside for all the sexual things that the Congress was doing. Like, I wish that wasn't the thing. Why are taxpayers paying to hide things? Now, I kind of get it. I've seen a few reports about why overall, but I'm really not happy with that too, which I could imagine you guys are as well, unless you kind of read through all the fine print and everything else. So do I agree with it? No. Do I understand why they're doing it? Yes. Yes, I do. So that one of the things, I don't think he's hiding it overall, the whole thing on that one, but I don't know. We'll see what happens on that one. All right, Mission accomplished. This is not a bot. You know what I'm realizing though? Huh. Hey, here's a weird thing. I just noticed it because I have my thing open on my other laptop. Riot, some of Riot's comments are not coming through. The Epstein one didn't come through. So what I was talking about, I put on the screen though, but that's not actually coming in on the Restream. So that's weird. I don't know. I don't say, obviously you guys can't see that, which sucks, but all right. But all right. So Riot's the man. It's got to be tough defending all this insanity. I got to tell you. Rough. No, it's not rough. You just got to look at the good guys of it. I don't know what that was, but that one, no. Oh, there we go. I'm laughing like, how is he going to answer this one? What? Wait, what was the question? I mean, what did I not answer? Let's put it that way. But okay, how is it being tough? No, I just overlook it, and I just hope for better rain or hope for better days, if anything. I don't know. I'm curious too how is Cuba is going to play out too. If you guys are paying attention, Rubio is now kind of maybe making his attention going down to Cuba, and they have literally said we give up. We need to figure it out. We need to negotiate with the United States. So, do we have any Cubans here by any chance? This happens to be on here, but what is going? Well, if they even have power for that matter, but what is going to happen in Cuba overall? And that's kind of the big question. Looking at it, we started off the hour talking about the cartels down in Mexico. I mean, if how is that playing out too? Where is there going to be a chance where the Board of Peace decides to go after and stop all the cartels in the Americas? Where does that come down for that too? What's going to happen with all of that as well? And that's time will tell on that one. Maybe things are already in motion. Things are already going. Donald Trump said that we were dealing with Iran first, and then we were focused on Cuba and elsewhere. And so I'm looking at it like, all right, when does Iran end? If it is this week, if it's kind of toppled, I mean, God, they keep taking out people left and right. So it's a matter of what's going to play out when the whole situation goes. But so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But Cuba, obviously, in a completely terrible situation that they're in right now, not having electricity, not having gas, not really, I mean, having food. You can't get that stuff there. And I don't know. It's a terrible, terrible situation right now. One half of me tells I want to help them out. The other half of me says, well, obviously, let them figure it out. They're their own country. They kind of been under this thing since what, 79 or something like that? Or no, that's Iran, but they've been under the communist rule for a long time. How are they going to answer? What is going to play out on that one? But so we can look at the different world stages, write that down too as well. But Cuba and Iran. So, but let's see what else happened. We got a couple shorts that I did this week too as well. If you guys had a chance to look at that one, Winston Churchill being taken off of the currency in the UK, kind of interesting. They're going to put nature on the currency. Birds and mountain ranges are going to be on that. One other thing too, we talked about the military getting lobster, crab, and steak, and I got a lot of pushback on TikTok about that one because I put the same shorts on pretty much all of them: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and obviously YouTube. And one of those things where people continuously hit back like, "Oh, they shouldn't be doing that. We should save that money. We should do all this other stuff." And it's just like, no, we're not going to play out that way. Lunatic, let me figure out the rest of the things here. Fat Muppet says, do you think drinking copious amounts of coffee every day should be a mandatory bylaw for all Americans? That's funny. That's funny. Better than tea, right? Better than tea. All right, we spent 20 years in Afghanistan to replace the Taliban with the Taliban, and now we spent 3 weeks to replace Khamenei with Khamenei. Super effective military action, I gotta say. Well, hey, I mean, what did you want? Venezuela? If you want to do that, you want to just take them out, just do that. That was different. Muhammad said, if I criticize something about this government, it doesn't mean the previous one was great. Both are currently doing a terrible job. Using Biden as an alibi every time doesn't work. Yeah, I agree with that one. All right, so, wait a minute here. I'm trying to get, all right, so we're trying to bring in Lunatic Libertarian. He was here, and then he clicked off. Hopefully that wasn't me that did that. I don't know. Lunatic, what happened to you, buddy? We were going to bring him in, so I don't know what. He was there. He was in the waiting room, and then all of a sudden he was gone. So maybe we'll give him a minute to come back. We need to leave the world alone and concentrate on our own problems, man. To a certain point, okay, Lunatic, I see you back on here. To a certain point, yes, but you can only have so many presidents over so many decades saying that Iran is a problem and not do anything about it. And that's where I'll leave it on that one. How do I? There we go. I do that. All right.
And
put your camera on there.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can't see you though. So put your camera on there. Hit the little toggle button for your picture.
There it is.
So if you guys don't know Lunatic Libertarian, take a look at his channel. He's been one of the first people that jumped on my live streams back. I mean, what, 6 months ago or something like that. We've been talking. We did a video not too long ago about it too as well. I had a chance to interview him, and that was what day was that? That was a while back, and February 24th. So a couple months ago. And we're trying to get him on here. Do you see the toggle? Do you see the button?
Yeah, and it's not allowing my camera to activate for some reason. All right, hold on. I'll be right back.
All right, good deal. Not-a-bots is obliterated. Yeah, are we talking about Venezuela here? I'm not sure. All right, we're trying to figure this out. Oh, technology. Fantastic. There we go. All right, try it now. Are we back?
Yeah, let's see here with the video.
There should be a little thing at the bottom, obviously, where the microphone and the picture.
Yeah, hold on. I'll be right back.
We're waiting in anticipation for you. So anyway, so that was a couple shorts. So again, I took a hit after that one with the lobster in the military, and I did what happens after everyone was gone. And we're talking about Washington State. Did you guys hear what's happening in Washington State when they passed that 9.9% wealth tax? So anybody paying or making over $1 million has to pay over 9.9% in taxes. And Howard Schultz, founder of Starbucks, decided that no, I'm gone. And so that was kind of playing out the whole thing where he literally just said, no, that's it. That's it. He's gone. So, all right. Well, there he is. We see him sideways, but like if you can turn upright, I don't know. There you go. However you're doing it.
I'm trying to figure this out. The technology is not working for me currently. I apologize. You can hear me, correct?
Yes, we can. Yeah. Maybe turn it up a little bit, but we can hear you. So, yep.
I wish I can turn it up. I don't know how to turn it up anymore.
You're all right. Okay, very cool. Well, maybe just get closer or whatever else. Couple of other things. Daily rights and lobster in the military is your final meal because they know some of these dudes are not coming back. Yeah, well, if you watch the short, that's exactly right. That they call it the last meal. They call it the best the best meal they'll have, that kind of thing. So yeah, I agree with that one. But anyway, Lunatic, what do you want to talk about? You wanted to come on here. So say hi.
Yeah, so hi, I'm the Lunatic Libertarian. I'm a very crazy individual. I challenge the truth between the lines on he had a short. I said, hey, I think the British burned down the White House past 1776.
No, I said, yeah, in the short, it was one of those throwaway comments. Like, we haven't cared about the British since 1776. Yes, obviously in 1812 when they came in and did the thing. Yeah, I mean, I guess we did care, but okay, fine.
Well, I mean, so what I think that's happening right now is that we're in a war that the Trump campaign doesn't want to be in anymore. Netanyahu was supposedly extinguished, but now he grew 5 to 7 fingers in a video to prove that he's alive, and then he went out and had a latte, right? He was rejected from, I think, over 26 countries as far as to get him to urgent care. And Europe is not the United States. Europe is very small when it comes to travel. You can go between countries within over 47 minutes, I think, is usually if you're at high altitude to low descent. I think that Netanyahu is no longer here. I think that Trump has an out card as far as Iran, because if you look at the terrain on a 3D map, you're not going to helicopter in troops. The mountainous terrain creates turbulence that doesn't facilitate that. You're not going to advance, let's say, 30,000 of a regiment, right? It's just not possible. The terrain is not subjugate to what we think is possible as far as progress with the military campaign. Tehran knows this, and they have destroyed many radar facilities that facilitate the Iron Dome. And I don't think people don't understand. If you served in Bahrain as a naval personnel between 2000 to now, you understand what Bahrain is. You understand why Tehran bombed these facilities. And they were radar systems that supposedly were taken out. And you can watch it on TikTok or Instagram. And I don't believe any of that video shit. But yet again, I have to understand when there's multiple sources coming from multiple countries saying that Bibi Netanyahu no longer exists. This came out of, I think, not only Tehran, it came out of, please fact check me, but I think it came out of Japan, Russia, China, multiple other countries that said that Netanyahu is now no longer alive. And I don't think that Trump would be unremorsed if that individual was no longer in the play of what we're doing here, right? If we don't have to facilitate the Greater Israel Project anymore because this lunatic is now, on to the next realm, I think that we're very, very well in our spirits as Americans to say we're not funding this shit anymore. Holy shit, AIPAC can be gone. I learned a lot about Thomas Massey today and who funds him. And it really gave me a bright eye to no longer idle anybody, no matter how base they are, according to my rhetoric of ideology as a libertarian. Because Thomas Massey doesn't abide by Republican or Democrat ideology. He's probably constitutionally probably one of the most based politicians there are, but yet again, now I know who funds them. And I told this libertarian the other day, I said, when they take off the glasses, just like Fauci was giving interviews in glasses before he became quote unquote famous, now you look at Thomas Massey, he no longer wears glasses. Now, I think that's a fundamental statement in the public eye that somebody is no longer on their same level on a basis of what's fundamentally good for them. I love Thomas Massey as far as his ideology, but I still know what the TV screens are supposed to present to me as far as something I'm supposed to believe in as an idol. And you're a Christian. I am not. Idol worship, if you're Catholic, is not something that we do, right?
Yeah. Hey, real quick, just talk about Thomas Massey from Kentucky. Obviously, everybody knows that coming through here. Yeah, and I agree. You're getting some weird feedback or whatever noises. I don't know what that is. So that's yours. I don't know if that's your end, but a couple things going back to the chat. Hopefully you can see the chats too. But Riot says basically, absolutely, we get mangled if we put boots on the ground. Agree with that one. And then Muhammad on there said, yeah, not being here. Goals remain unchanged. I think I had that up for a while there. And then welcome to the chat there. Is it, I don't know, Chaz, I'm going to say that, but every man has God-given right. Eat their own egg, but don't let the mainstream media fool you. All right, we'll do that one. Hey, you made a fan there, Lunatic, though, with Riot. So Daily Riot says he loves you. All right, Bill O'Reilly used to get a lot of critique. Okay, here we go. Then the Fat Muppet. Bill O'Reilly used to get a lot of critique back in the day when he worked for Fox News. Yeah, very cool. So, all right, so good deal. Trying to think where we go with. So where do we go with all of this? How do we either back out, or what do you think? What's the end game?
Well, I think that if you can hear me properly, I think that Americans need to start going to their local county sheriff's office. Okay, start understanding what the Constitution represents with that office, because it's an elected official under the Constitution. They have to swear an oath to defend the Constitution on a county guideline. Now, if you deputize the citizens of that county and then start taking back the country under the Constitution, county by county, I think that's what we do as Americans, because then it's legal. And the justification of any investigation is based on evidence under the Constitution. I think that's, and I've presented this to many different entities, and they all think I'm crazy, but I'm a lunatic. It's the simple fact the sheriff's office, it's not the marshals. Marshals are federal. This is a sheriff, county level, state level, under the oath of the Constitution says we're going to abide by the Constitution under this entity of land, and any law that is passed that doesn't abide by that, we don't have to abide by. How many sheriffs didn't abide by COVID factors? How many sheriffs don't abide by gun laws that are supposedly implemented by state statutes? I mean, this goes into what are you fundamentally going to abide by as a human being, according to which laws you think you should abide. I think the Constitution is the only law. But yet again, if you go into the conspiracy theory of maritime law versus the law of the land, maritime law really constructs the commerce reason of prosecution, which justifies the additional tax of everybody as far as you need a license to operate a motor vehicle. You need to register your motor vehicle. If you operate a commercial vehicle, you need to operate by X, Y, and Z, and so on and so forth, right? Because you're operating in commerce, which is maritime law. And this is based on the Moors or sovereign citizens argument that I'm operating in the public, not the private. But yet again, we conflate all these arguments and say that it's abided by race or some kind of religion. No, we're looking at the actual construct of the law as how it is written. Now, why do we have a bar organization? Because what does bar actually represent as far as the acronym? Because it's British. It's not American. So look at what the bar organization is. What does BAR stand for? When you have to pass the bar to be an attorney. Let me know.
Automatic rifle, but no.
Well, that's a bar 30, right? It's a 30 caliber rifle, right? Back in World War II. Yeah. Yep. But what is the bar organization as far as what is a lawyer versus what is an attorney? Who practices the law versus who represents the law? Yet again, language needs to really be understood in this country. Mm-hmm. And yes, anybody that wants to say that I'm a lunatic, thank you. That's why I chose the acronym, lunatic libertarian. But yet again, I drink this. If you think that I'm a drunkard, yet again, I have to actually consume alcohol to lower myself to try and explain these things to people as I lose my mind in the day-to-day life of how people live to function in these systems. Yeah. I'm a lunatic because I understand these systems so much. It's why? Why? Yeah. Why do we give the government power? Why do we let them take our money before we even get it? I'm taxed before I even get my money. I legally give them the opportunity to steal my money before I ever receive it. Yeah. Why? Why don't we claim tax exemption? And then we'll figure out my tax at the end of the year, because if I let you figure it out, well, if I owe you money, well, during COVID times I owed you money, you sent me the same money I paid you right back to me.
All right, good. Well, let's switch subject real quick. There was a question earlier about legalizing marijuana. Should Trump do it? That was the question. I don't know if you were here when that came up, but what's your thought about legalizing marijuana?
Well, I'm sorry, but if you say that cannabis is marijuana, you're a programmed individual, in my opinion.
That's a big distinction right there. Yep. Okay.
The scientific name, it's cannabis sativa. That's the scientific name. We always use this propaganda name of marijuana. Mm-hmm. That's a propaganda name that is of Spanish origin to denigrate Hispanic people from Mexico. So, yet again, is it cannabis sativa? As far as science, I want to believe the science, bro. I got to believe the science. So let's use the scientific name. It's cannabis, not marijuana.
Interesting. All right. Well, hopefully the person that wrote that comment is still in here. But that's actually a good distinction. You're right. Well, it's like saying guns too. Like, oh, everybody's got guns. What kind of gun do you have? A rifle, a pistol? You know, what do you got? You know, automatic, all that. What? Yeah, you gotta.
I'm from Wisconsin. Go check out what is the definition of a firearm. Go Google that shit. And then Cornell's law will give you the legislation under statutory 3C. You know that definition doesn't exist anymore when you go to actually docs.legislation.wisconsin.gov. That definition of the C is deleted. There is no definition of a firearm in the state of Wisconsin under the state legislation.
Yeah.
So if you're a felon, can you hear me?
Yeah. Still got those weird noises. I can hear you. Yeah.
Well, I apologize. I don't know what that is because I can hear it in my earpiece, but it's if you're in the state of Wisconsin as a felon and you're in possession of a firearm and there's no definition, how do you comply with the law?
Right. Yeah. I think, good. Fat Muppet, I think he was the one that said it too. Cannabis sativa. I know I just said marijuana because it sounds very American and wholesome. Yeah. That's what we figured. No problem. And then Mohammed says marijuana is the least of America's problems right now. Yeah, that could be a thing on that one. But all right. So one last question for you, Lunatic. Howard Clegg wrote on here, federalism is the answer. It's how the framers designed the Constitution. Any thoughts to that?
Well, I've listened to the Federalist Papers, and if you love Thomas Jefferson, that what gave him his whole shtick is he's the one who wrote the Federalist Papers. He was a slave owner, but yet again, if you read the Anti-Federalist Papers, you can believe that too. So it depends on the dereliction of duty in which you as an individual are willing to present to yourself in the mirror. Right? How much dereliction of duty are you willing to do to yourself? Then I look at obese people. I look at everybody that doesn't have intellect. I look at everybody that doesn't have wisdom. And there are a lot of people that do dereliction of duty of themselves and don't put the responsibility on themselves. So I think that we have been programmed as a populace to be consumers, not producers. I think that this is a very complicated situation, but I've talked about this many times on many of my own platforms, podcasts, about what is the responsibility of the individual to themselves and the byproduct of their own nature, right? If you have sex with a woman and produce a child, what is the responsibility of that child that you're going to take care of? Are you going to homeschool that child and produce an outcome of knowledge and wisdom that took years to produce? Many don't take that responsibility, and I don't give them a pass when it comes to the status quo, welfare, and all these other statistical anomalies that we judge the population on.
Yep. Another comment from Daily Riot said, if the feds weren't corrupt, then yes, but they are. So there we go. All right. Any closing?
Yeah, but you're not going to get it. But okay, so if the feds weren't corrupt, then yes. Yet again, are you a man that has a set of balls that's going to actually take responsibility and the consequences of that responsibility to stand up against tyranny that was written in the Constitution when your government becomes tyrannical? This is the thing that I ask all men. Do you have the balls? Because I've talked to many veterans that had the balls to raise their hand to the Constitution when we were attacked in 9/11, and I went to boot camp in December of 2001. So please tell me, where are your balls?
Very good. All right, buddy. Anything else? Any closing words before I move on? Because I'm going to do one more.
No, I think that's pretty crystal clear. Is that if you're MAGA or you're Republican or you think you're an anarchist or you think that you serve this country and then all your brothers' deaths are against this government that killed them, then let's stand together and do our actual constitutional responsibility.
Very cool. All right. Thanks, buddy. Yeah. If you guys check out more for Lunatic Libertarian, it spells exactly like it says at the screen right there. Go check his stuff out. He's got things, and promise me you're going to do more interviews because it's been a while since you did a few. So,
hey, trust me, I am working on the Democratic Socialist.
Yeah.
Francesca